Hey, it's Vass here from Metro Hobbies, and today we're going to be talking about tyres. So this video is going to be kind of giving you the right tools and the information that you need to know to sort of make a decision on your next set of tyres for your RC. Alright, so as you can see, there are a lot of tyres that are available. Of course, I didn't bring them all out because otherwise we'll be here for a very long time. So I brought out the basics just for the general basher out there that wants to go out to the skate park or the BMX track, or maybe just have some fun in the backyard. This video will hopefully give you the right information for you to kind of make the right decision when the opportunity arises for you to change out tyres, whether it be just to change out the look of your car, or you're taking the opportunity from a damaged tyre or wheel and you want to change it up and get something new. So the first thing that we need to know, of course, is what scale the vehicle is that you are running, whether it's a 10 scale, 8 scale, and so forth. Once we know that, we can then start recommending you the right type of tyre for that particular vehicle. And then, of course, the type of surface that you're going to be running on, whether it's going to be sand, dirt, grass, whether you're going to be on the road a lot. What type of bashing do you do? What type of running do you do? So that you get the right tyre to match that particular, I guess, running environment. Now, to keep things nice and simple, I've kind of divided this into a couple of different sections so that we can sort of talk about particular types of vehicles and the particular tyres for those types of vehicles as we go through. The first one here is going to be your buggies. So buggies generally come in 10 scale, which are these tyres here, and then you've got your 8 scale over here. Again, there are different scales in between all of these, but I'm trying to keep things nice and simple. So going with the 10 scale, we've got the on-road tyres now. These are specifically used on tarmac and concrete and that sort of terrain. These have 12mm hexes, and you'll notice that there's two different widths here, and that's because the wider ones are for the rear of the buggy and the narrow ones are for the front. Now, these traditionally are used on four-wheel drive 10-scale buggies, but you can use these on two-wheel drive 10-scale buggies as well. So these are your standard 10-scale wheel and tyre. They do come with different treads on them, so you can use them off-road as well. But these ones I've got them currently just for the on-road. Now, for the 8-scale buggies, they come with a standard white dish. You can also get them with wheels like this, which look kind of cool. And you can see that I've got two different types here. You've got your typical general basher type of tyre with knobby tyre on there. Good for grass, dirt, mud, pretty much anywhere really you can run that sort of tyre. And then this one here is more specific to like sandy terrains, or if you want to get courageous and run them on water. People do like to run these types of tyres on water to do some aquaplaning and things like that. Now, a couple of key notes to take into account here is that when you are running an RC on water or through water, especially if you're going to be running a set of tyres like these, it's important that you actually block the little holes that the wheels have got. So all of these tyres come with foam. They don't come air-filled. So the foam, or different densities of foam, will kind of give you different feels, basically like air pressure. So in order for the tyre to actually breathe, they put little holes on opposing sides of the wheel to allow the tyre to breathe. Of course, if you run these tyres through a deep puddle, or you actually submerge the car in water, these tyres can actually fill with water, and if that happens, you can ruin your foams. So it's advised that you look for the little holes on the wheel and then plug them up with either some tape or some other means so that water does not get in there. Now, this does change the way that the tyre behaves a little bit, but it's a bit of a trade-off to making sure that water does not get into your wheels. Because, yeah, as I said, if that happens, you pretty much ruin your foams, and then your tyres will start to oscillate because all the water will run down to the bottom of the wheel, and then, yeah, it'll just make things really, really messy. So that's your 10 scale and 8 scale buggy. Let's move on to the next one. Now for the next one here, we have the short course wheel, and we've got the standard 10 scale monster truck wheel. Now your short course is an interesting one because it has a 2.2 inch outer diameter and it has a 3 inch inner diameter. So it's a very unique kind of wheel and tire. And there's various different combinations out there. You can get wheels that have bead locks on them, so you can constantly interchange your tires, or you can get pre-glued ones like this, and then of course you just get the tire tread to match the particular terrain that you're going to be running on. These are actually really good. They're quite nice and sticky. Again, they have the foams in there. They got the little holes in there if you need to plug them up and run them through water. They also come with different offsets to suit different types of vehicles, and also to change out the look a little bit. And of course you can get them with the road tread, or you can get them with the off-road tread, as you see here. Again, these are only available with the 12mm hex. There are some short course wheels and tires that are available with 17mm hex for things like the old Armour Senton, for example, the 6S car. That comes with 17mm hexes, and it's a standard sort of a short course style truck, so you can use those wheels on there. Now for your monster truck, for your 10 scale monster truck wheel and tire, these are usually a 2.8 inch wheel. So that's total diameter. Again, 12mm hexes on the back. These wheels are actually the exact same size, but you can see that we've got two different tire setups here. Now, obviously this is a road tire, this is an off-road tire, but aside from that, you'll see that the wall thickness of the tire itself is quite different. These are a low profile tire, and these are designed to go on stadium trucks. So cars like your Rustler 4x4 or Rustler 2-wheel drive will benefit from a tire like this, whilst your type of Stampede type of vehicle will benefit from a tire like that. So this is a typical size monster truck tire. Again, these are available from Proline as well, and there's various different versions available from Louise with these particular treads and patterns, and you can get them with the chrome wheels or the black wheels and so on and so forth. So there's your 10 scale short course and monster truck wheel and tire. Okay, so moving on to some of the bigger scale stuff, we have your 8 scale truggy tire. Now again, these are available in a variety of different styles. These ones here are your typical sort of 5-spoke wheel and tire, general tread on the front here. These will handle decent power. They can go probably maybe 4S. You might be able to get away with 6S as long as it's not too much. But these types of tires will actually work quite well on your 8 scale truggies. And again, you can get them with just a plain white dish with a variety of different tread patterns on there, depending on the application. Your monster truck tires are a little bit different. So you got your typical sort of 8 scale monster truck, so real nice and beefy. Now these are usually a 3.8 inch wheel. Your truggies are traditionally a 4 inch wheel. And then we've got these other ones here, which kind of look a little bit like the short course, like a large version of the short course, because you've got a smaller diameter on the outside of the wheel, and then on the inside it's actually a bigger diameter, so it's a really low profile tire on the inside. I actually used a set of these myself on the Super Rock Ray with a 17mm hex, and they actually worked really well. Very grippy tire, and they look fantastic as well. So this will work on the larger side of the 1/8 scale cars. It might look a little bit weird on maybe an e-Revo or something like that, which is traditionally more like a truggy style, but something like this on like a Notorious or a big Creighton or something, like an 8 scale Creighton will actually not look too bad at all. So these are actually, and they're not a very wide tire either compared to your traditional sort of 2.8 inch, 3.8 inch monster truck tire. So we'll pop these out of the way, and we'll cover off something here very quickly that I do want to talk about in regards to Proline. Proline actually make, I think, some of the better tires on the market. They are a little bit more expensive traditionally, but they do have options like these ones here, for example. They're actually a belted tire. What that means by being belted is that the tire will not expand when it's going at full rotation. So one of the issues that some people come across with some of these other like soft monster truck tires is that when they put them in powerful vehicles and they're running them around trying to get full speed out of them, or they take jumps, the tires expand, they balloon, and then they can catch on the body and they can rip and so forth. Proline are actually developing a lot of tires at the moment that come with a kind of a belt on the inside of them. Now Louise do have that option as well with some of their tires. They've got a couple of road tires that are belted. They've also got some tires which they call the MFP or MFT or something for the X-Max, and I've got a set of those myself. So they're designed not to balloon, so they got like a fiber wall on the inside of the tire to stop them from ballooning, which is really cool. but Proline have got them as well. They do this on the on-road buggy tire that you see here. So for those of you out there who like to do speed runs and so forth, this would actually be a really good one to get. But one of the things that I really wanted to point out is that they do have a 2.8 inch on the far right here. They have a 2.8 inch with a 17mm hex, which means that it can actually be used on some of the 8 scale vehicles, provided of course the 2.8 inch wheel can clear your hubs and your steering knuckles and all that sort of thing internally. Otherwise, you have some of the 3.8 inch monster truck wheel and tire that have the raid wheels, and these have exchangeable hubs. So what that means is that you can change some of the 2.8 inch wheels and tires that traditionally come with 12mm hexes, and you can get the separate hubs that have the 17mm hex. So that means you can actually fit them on some of the 8 scale vehicles. And these are actually good as well for the 8 scale monster truck tires, because if you happen to strip out one of these hubs, you can just buy the hubs separately, like these ones here, for example, and just replace that rather than having to buy a whole new set of wheels and tires, or at least a new pair. So this is a really cool feature from Proline. I particularly do like these, especially with the 2.8 inch tires. Some of these more modern cars, like the Armour Granite and the Team Magic E5 vehicles, for example, they come with 14mm hexes. I know, starting to get a bit confusing now, but those vehicles come with slightly bigger hexes to prevent them from stripping straight out of the factory. So if you buy an aftermarket wheel like you know, one of the Prolines with the Raid wheels on there, you can purchase these with the 14mm hexes, and then that'll allow you to fit that tire onto those monster trucks. So a really cool feature that Proline have got, and they also have some aluminium replacements as well if you want to get something that's a little bit tougher. So these do add a little bit of weight to your wheels, but it will definitely prevent them from stripping out in the future. So that's pretty much everything you sort of need to know for the basics, at least for your next sort of purchase of wheels and tires for your favorite bash vehicle. Hopefully you guys got something out of this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And as always, check out the video description down below. We'll have links in there to our website where you can browse all these tires and get a whole bunch of information on what your next tire should be for your favorite RC vehicle. That is it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all next time.